Welcome, everybody. My name is Mr. Reality, and I'm joined with psychic medium Liz Cross extraordinaire. Liz, how are you?
Cold and snowed in. How are you?
A lot of people out there are frigid, so we hope that this little seance brings warmth to your heart. I thought we could talk to the wisdom of ancient, or not really ancient, but Victorian women. So people that don't know each other in life and just learn their story and see what they've learned.
Yeah, I love these. The old time photos are very popular.
So I don't know the names of these women, but they're three different women. We're just going to call them, if they want to give us their names, fine. But Abigail, Beatrice, and Charlotte in a three-panel picture here, so people know who we're talking to.
Okay, that's not their names, but that's what we will call them.
They can
Okay,
share their names if they want. So,
the first one is Sarah.
well, Sarah, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about this photo and about your life in this time?
Yes. How were you wealthy in your lifetime? No, no. But your hair is so pretty and you're just so beautiful. She says, I worked hard. I worked hard at being beautiful. It was a full-time job.
What about your life then? What were you doing?
What were you doing with your life? Were you married? Not when this photograph was taken. No. Did you get married? Eventually, yes, but to an older man, a much older man.
Over the last 500 years, how many cultures has she reincarnated into?
Over the last 500 years, how many cultures? Four.
And how do those cultures view the life after life?
The life after life, as
So when you're in
in,
spirit form, how do they view ascension in different cultures?
oh, um, how do they view ascension in different cultures? It's actually still the same ascension, but on the earth plane, it's a different viewpoint.
And so how does that differ on the earth plane? Do you need to have more cultures to ascend in your soul path?
Do we need to have different cultures to it? It's helpful. It gives you a different perspective, a different opportunity, but the ascension is all the same. These are good questions.
Let's ask the woman in the middle. Thank you, Sarah, for your comments. Let's ask her about her life in this time. It looks like she's grieving, like a widowy type dress. Can she tell us about the photo and her life?
Were you grieving? Yeah, she was it. She was in mourning. Who had passed? Husband had passed, yes. And what were you? Can you tell us about the photograph? She was distraught. And not only was she distraught emotionally, but financially too. You know, there was no life insurance policy.
Right.
You had what you had, and it wasn't much. And you were then going to have to make do with what you had. In that time period, she's telling me, you better hope you have raised successful children that will take you in, which her son did. She didn't get along with the son's wife, but at least she had that option. But a lot of times, if you were barren, she says, if you were barren and you were widowed, you were just, you were poverty stricken. You better hope your family could take you in, some family somewhere. If not, you were destined to the street.
How did that lifetime enhance her soul journey?
How did this lifetime end? It was a difficult lifetime. It was very poor, she's telling me. Um, but you never wanted to look poor. You never wanted people on the street or in the community to know how poor you actually were. There was a lot of judgment against rich and poor, a lot of class, I don't know what you would say, warfare is what she's telling me.
How did her vision of the afterlife change once she crossed over?
It was nothing that she anticipated. Were you very religious on the earth plane in this lifetime? No, she was not. But she always had a deep respect for God and she did fear God. She was honest. She's telling me she had integrity. She always said a kind word as much as possible. Um, but when she got up there, she realized that it's not so rigid. It's not this fear based system that we are told to live in.
What does her existence look like up there now? What is she working on and what does she do throughout the week?
What are you doing now up there? So she's sitting in a rocking chair and she's reading stories to children. She's helping them plan their next lifetimes. Young souls that often come down to teach us like life lessons, but in short bursts. So abortions, miscarriages, stillbirths, or children that are here for only a short period of time, but they bring in these huge lessons. So she helps to comfort them and get them prepared for their next journey down.
And how many incarnations has the woman in the middle had as a human?
Of how many incarnations have you had? Wait, what? 5,000. But as a human, about 50.
That's a low number.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well, I'm glad that she's helping read books to children and help those souls acclimate. Let's talk to the third panel girl, if we can, and
Okay.
see what her experience was like in life.
Now she's very bubbly. She is quite fun. She is actually quite wealthy. She had family money and she didn't have a lot of problems in that lifetime. Her problems were few and far between. Many problems, but mostly a very, very good life. She did go on to have children. She had two children, a boy and a girl, two boys, but they were very well taken care of. They never had to worry about money.
What's the advantage of a carefree life like that? How does that affect the soul journey?
Ooh, how does that affect it? Well, it's disappointing because when you get to the end of it and you cross over, you don't feel as if you've accomplished much. So your lifetimes have to have a degree of difficulty.
Did she have any religious ties or
Yeah.
brushes with death in her life?
No brushes with death. She did have difficulty in childbirth. Did you have religious ties? I mean, she played the part of like going to church and socializing and community in that way, but she wasn't terribly religious.
And so what is she focusing on in her weekly routine on the other side?
On the other side. She's just preparing for her next lifetime. Her husband is with her. They're waiting for someone to pass. I'm like, who? So it's almost like a grandchild, uh, an adult grandchild, but an adult grandchild or great grandchild. They're waiting for someone to pass. I'm like, did you guys come back again? No, but they're waiting for someone in this lineage. It's going to be like great, great, great. I don't know. It's quite far down to pass. So then they can recycle again.
Won't that be
'Cause
another less not fulfilling lifetime if she incarnates into the same wealthy line?
they're not going to be as wealthy. And they're all swapping roles, which is why they have to wait for this particular person to pass.
Well, thank you. Let's move on down the list and talk to this girl, who I don't know who
Oh,
she is, but we're going to ask this girl about her soul journey and her lifetime knitting.
you know, that's a skill that's going to be lost soon. Is knitting going to be a skill that is lost? Eventually, yes. People won't know how to do knitting and crocheting and threading and weaving. That those are going to be skills that are going to be gone forever. How many years? Probably another 100, 200 years. Those skills are going to be distant. Machinery, factory made things. So people won't be making things by hand like they used to. No, no, they won't.
This girl has very pretty curls. Let's ask her about her lifetime and what she ended up doing.
What did you end up doing in your lifetime? She stayed single. And I'm saying, well, why did you say? She said, I couldn't find anyone who wanted to marry me. There was no one. Wherever she grew up was really remote and very isolated. They would have to take long treks into the town. It wasn't often that they did that. They would, stock up on supplies or whatever they needed. So she wasn't really socially around many people in order to meet potential suitors.
How does she feel that that helped her soul growth?
It was lonely. She had a real problem of being alone in that lifetime. Did you have many siblings? No, she was an only child.
Are there opportunities for soul growth in the afterlife?
Other opportunities for soul growth in the afterlife? The only growth you really get is learning about different life plans and modifications and almost like therapy sessions, like talk therapy. You're talking about your plans, your potential designs to, for lack of a better term, therapists. What do you hope to gain? What do you think you'll get out of this? Yes, that's what I'm getting. So there's a lot of communicating up there about potential plans.
And whose soul group is she in? Is it expanded or does she still face this solo journey along a no incarnation path?
Whose soul group are you? So her soul group is actually quite small. She has her parents, she has a grandmother, and occasionally she will have a brother that pops in and out. But she has to keep experiencing a life of loneliness. This is something she cannot seem to overcome. And she has to recreate. Do you have to Yes, she has to recreate this again. So in the next lifetime, she's actually going to be in a marriage or partnership situation, and she's still going to feel lonely.
Can't you just make a note up there, make friends when I come down next time?
Um, can't you just? She's saying it's not even just about making friends, it's also about being comfortable in yourself, in your own skin. And you can be married to someone, she says. You can have loads of people around you, and you can still feel like the loneliest person in the world. Nobody understands you, nobody gets you. And that's something that she has to face.
So how do souls evolve on their spiritual journey through non-incarnation? So what are the mechanisms on the other side?
How do you evolve on the other side? By planning the lifetimes here. So because she's still in the reincarnation cycle, right? She's still in that realm. She's telling me that the most opportunity is here on the earth plane. The most opportunities here on the earth plane, and the most expansion of the soul, the growth, the spirituality is here. It's not so much up there. That's just the planning and the preparation. Now, I feel like she's at level 2. You know, there's many different levels. Level 2 is what most of us are operating on, but then there's different levels within the levels, right? And she's desperate to get to level 3, but she can't seem to get over this lesson.
Do souls have the ability to expand outside of their soul group, or do they have to go through the process in life and incarnations to expand beyond their soul group?
What how do you expand beyond your soul group? Being in a soul group can be very frustrating because she says you have to drag everybody with you. So you could be advanced in your soul growth, and because you are contracted to a particular soul group, you have to wait for them to catch up. There's only so many times that a soul will put up with that, and then you'll choose a different soul group.
What does she think people take for granted the most living a life on Earth?
Ooh, that's a good question. What do you think people take for granted the most living? The ability to have relationships and friends, and those emotions and the connectivity around it. People are not enjoying themselves. They have so much opportunity to enjoy themselves, to dance, to be free, to listen to music, to travel in a body with all of those emotions that you can experience. And yet people are miserable. And she says, we laugh from up here. We think that you all have like this wonderful opportunity because you're still down there. You're still with the people that you love. You still have opportunities available to heal, to grow, and to evolve on a soul level. And she says, but quite frankly, you're all miserable.
Some of us, that is true, correct.
Mm-hmm. It
And so her
is like,
advice is
yeah.
just take advantage of the time that you have. Everybody has the same number of hours in a day and the same number of days in the year. Take advantage of them and take advantage of the people around you.
It's okay to experience joy, happiness, and laughter. But she says people don't want to do that. They'd rather be miserable, just sit around complaining that they're here, they're doing another life cycle or another lifetime, and they can't wait to get off the earth plane. And yet, when you're up there, we all want to be down here. So she says, have fun.
Well, thank you very much, all of you. I hope that you all get together up there and hang out and have fun planning your next incarnations down here. Is she going to incarnate anytime soon, or is it in the distant future?
It's quite a while away. It's quite a while. She's trying to plan the timing to be just right. She wants to come in when there are a lot of technological advancements. She wants to do something with technology. So that she's quite interested in that.
Well, thank you very much, Liz.
Yeah, thank you. This was neat. I love these. And don't forget, Mr. Reality has a tip jar in the comments. Thank you
Liz has a
so
Patreon.
much.